Class, for this short clip, what we're going to do is look into finding the slope of each line. So we'll just work our way through A, B, and C. When we talk about slope, the important thing to remember is that slope can be defined as the change in your rise over the difference in or change in your run. In other words, what we're looking at is from a singular point here, how high do we go and how far over do we go? This is the rise right here, and this is the run, until we get to another point. And then what we can do is the slope is the slope is this line right here. Okay? And so it's just a ratio of rise over run. In case of like a specific formula that we use, let's get a different color here, and we'll say that rise over run, or slope, is going to be, with given any 2 points, it's going to be y1 minus y2 all over x1 minus x2. So what I'm pretty much doing is finding the difference from here to here, that's y1 minus y2, and then the difference from here to there, that's the other difference, and then that forms a small ratio. All right, let's dive right into part A here. Okay, so on A, I'm trying to find the line of the slope of the line, and the line runs through -1, 1, and to -5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take y1, and let's just label these the 1's and these the 2's, point 1 and point 2. All right, so my y1 is going to be 1 minus, and then y2, that's going to be this value right here. So minus -5. And then all over my x1, so go back to point 1 over here, -1 minus 2. Okay, and so when I do the math here, I end up with 1 minus -5, and a negative, these two cancel out. Let's get our red here. And they turn into plus. I have two negatives. So 1 plus 5, that gives me 6. And then in the denominator, 1 minus 2 gives me -3. If I reduce that fraction, I have -2. And that is my slope. All right, let's take a stab at the second one. So on part B, we're going to work right over here. The whole idea works just the same as with part A. The only difference is that we have a whole bunch of points. And so it really doesn't matter which point you use as long as you use 2 and as long as you're consistent with them. Okay, so what that means is I'm going to grab, I'm just going to pick 2 random points that look like they'd be easy to work with. Let's choose this one and this one. Okay, and as long as these points are on a linear path, you can choose any set you want. Let's call this 1 and this 2. Okay, so I'm going to do y1, 8, minus y2, 2, over, now x1 is 12, minus x2, which is 4. And then that boils down to 6 over 8. And then that boils down to 3/4. And so my rise is going to go up 3 and over 4. All right, lastly, let's take a look at this picture. So part C, finding the slope. Well, I'm going to grab 2 random points on this line. One of them is going to be right there, an easy point. And let's have another one be right here. So those coordinates, that's going to be 0 and then -2. So that's the first point. And then for the second point right here, let's do 3 and then -2. Okay, so I'm going to work through the same math as before, y1 minus y2. So I'm going to do -2 minus -2 all over 0 minus 3. And what I'm left with is 2 minus -2. Remember, these become positive, and I end up with 0 in the numerator and -3 in the denominator. Well, 0 of anything is 0, so that means that my slope is 0.